ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶಾಯ ನಮಃ. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಸರಸ್ವತ್ಯೈ ನಮಃ. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಓಂ ಸಮಸ್ತಜನಕಲ್ಯಾಣೇ ನಿರತಂ ಕರುಣಾಮಯಂ ನಮಾಮಿ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಂ ದೇವಂ ಸದ್ಗುರುಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಂ ಸದ್ಗುರುಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಂ. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ರಮಣಾಯ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ಶ್ರೀರಮಣಾಯ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ಶ್ರೀರಮಣಾಯ. So we are studying Sri Ramana Gita and we are in 3rd chapter. So, what the first question which we have already seen, 3rd chapter, that what is the kartavyam of manushyas? Bhagavan said, swasya swarupam vijneyam. That's what he said. That primary duty of everyone, every human being, because human being is eligible for it, is to know one's own self. Then Daivavrata was a questioner. Then he's asked, then okay, in that swasya sarupasya vijnane sadhanam kim samantatah samasatah. What is the sadhana in knowing the truth? That's what the question we have to start now. That is the 4th verse we have to start. So Bhagavan said, yesterday in the last class we saw what is the meaning of Swarupa Vijnanam. So Bhagavan answered that. Swarupa Vijnanam, we have seen whatever we could see in the last class. So Daivavrata was a questioner, a name of the person. His name was Daivavrata. He asked another question. So we'll start with 4th verse of 3rd chapter. Daivarata uvacha. Swasya swarupa vijnane sadhanam kim samasatah siddhyet kena prayatnena prityak dushtirmahiyasi. Swasya swarupa vijnane sadhanam kim samasatah siddhyet kena prayatnena prityak dushtirmahiyasi. Beautiful thing. Therefore, swasya swarupa vijnane swatma labharupe samasena sankshepena sadhanam kim. So, the purpose of human birth is to know self. So what is in crux, in short, samasatah, in brief? So what is the sadhana in knowing one's own self? Swasya swarupa vijnane sadhanam kim. Why? Because, and what is the purpose of, what does it mean by sadhana here? Again, very important here. Sadhana means what? Here it says, because of that sadhana, siddhyet kena prayatnena. What is sadhana? That effort by which Prachar Drushtihi Mahiyase. That is a beautiful thing. Mahiyasi. The sadhana is that, now here is the key clue. So, the inward vision, more and more antardrushti is gained through sadhana. So, in the question itself, the questioner knew, Devarata knows, as we increase the sadhana, means what? More and more inward vision has to be created or developed. Antardrushti, Prachak Drushti means the inward vision, the great Mahiyasi, that will be possible, that will become possible. Antardrushti. Now, let us see. What is the danger in sadhana, in misunderstanding sadhana is, we become Bahirdrushti. More sadhana in terms of, for example, that sadhana, whatever we do, it becomes slowly a means to boost one's own ego. Compare, मैं 50 साल से एकादशी उपवास कर रहा हूं. It is inward vision or outward vision? Outward vision. आज मैंने 50 बार जप माला की है, 50 माला फिराया. Is inward or outward? Outward. आज मैंने पाठ किया, इतना पाठ किया, इतना पाठ आज का मेरा हो गया है. Inward or outward? Outward. So, what is the sign is indicating here by questioner, Devarata ji says, that sadhana by which antardrushti is, see, mahiyasi kena prayatnena udyama visheshena, by a special effort, udyama visheshena, mahiyasi उत्कृष्टतरा प्रत्यक् दृष्टिः अंतर्मुखी स्वात्म दृष्टिः सिद्ध्येत सिद्धा भवेत इति प्रश्नः. So what is that sadhana? Because of which I develop more and more antarmukhatvam, inward vision. That is sadhana. Not, how many Upanishads I completed in 2024 so far. How many books I finished. How many yajnas I attended. But how many people and argued and defeated them. So, antardrushti mahiyasi. What that? So, therefore, it says, Brahma Vidya Angatvena Bahuni Upasanani Srutushu Gitani Bhavanti. The question is, understand it, because in Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads and many, many Shastras, there are so many sadhanas are given. So many sadhanas are, thousands and lakhs of sadhanas are given. So, sakshat krita atma swarupascha ekasmannapi sadhye bahu margat nirdishyanti. See, so sakshat krita atma swarupascha ekasmini api sadhye bahun margat nirdishyanti. So many paths are indicated in all the scriptures. By who? By whom? Sakshat Krita Atma Swarupaha. Those who have realized the Siddha, their own Siddhi in themselves, each Mahatma gave each technique. Thus, so many paths also have become. So, Sakshat Krita, because, see, so many Mahatmas are there. Therefore, they gave so many ways. Each one of them point out different many ways to reach the truth. Therefore, may Bhagavan, so tatra sarabhutam ekam margam anugrunatu Bhagavan iti yachate. So therefore, this question is asking, see please, so many paths are there, so many Mahatmas are there, each one give them their own ideas, their own thoughts. And that also increases my own ego. And we compare Guru, so much of kachada happens. So the very important line is that antardrushtihi mahiyasi. That is more important. Sadhana means what? Antardrushtihi mahiyasi. So that sadhana you gave me. Please, A Bhagavan, kindly bless me. Okay, that's the question. Now, here, what Shastra speak, Bhagavan says, is very deep in text, means very deep text it is. As we go, we will understand the depth of it. So Bhagavan says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Vishaye Vyaparavritya Vritti Sarva Prayatnataha Vimarshe Kevalam Tishtet Achale Nirupadhike Swasya Swarupa Vijnane Sadhanam Tat Samasataha Siddhyet Tenaiva Yatnena Prityak Drushtirmahiyasi Vishayebhyah paravritya vritti sarva prayatnataha vimarshe kevalam tishtet achale nirupadhike swasya swarupa vijnane sadhanam tat samasataha siddhyettenaiva yatnena pratyak drushtirmahiyasi. Now, Bhagavan says, first of all, Vishayebhyah paravritya vrittihi. Vrittihi, plural, thoughts. All thoughts are to be turned away from this sense objects. Vishayebhyah, we will see more. Paravritya vrittihi sarvaha. So all the thoughts are to be diverted, withdrawn from the sense objects. Every thought, how many thoughts we get in a second? So many thoughts. Every second, multiple thoughts rise. Number one. Number two, they go in all directions. Multiple thoughts going in all directions. Number two. And the intensity with which the thoughts go out, the power with which the thoughts go out into the objects, depending upon the vasana. So some thoughts go out powerfully, some thoughts go out slowly, but in low intensity. But different thoughts go towards different sense objects. Okay. And these thoughts, when they go out towards the sense objects, and each thought again bounces back, getting that experience of that object, and all the thoughts bringing all kinds of sense objects, collecting the name and form, etc. At once pouring into the mind, into the core of the mind. This is happening. So more and more disturbances are seen. Now, is it possible to withdraw? Because thought is energy. So thought goes out towards an object A, and the thought weds the object A, takes the shape of the object A, and I get the experience of that object A. So a part of the mind, because mind is flow of thoughts, a part, infinitesimal part of the mind goes out, takes the shape of the object, and that again is illumined by my consciousness in my mind. Then I get the experience of that object. Now, so when the thought goes and comes back to us, I'm just in a lay language I'm talking. When the thought comes back to me, so the thought is energy that comes back with the object. With the object. Then what do you mean by withdrawing the mind? Leave the object there, pull back the mind. So thought goes out. So I drop the thought, the object is dropped there. Mind is withdrawn. That is called yoga sadhana. That is what actually speaking of withdrawing the mind from sense objects. So, Vishayebhya paravritya. You pull the mind with the object. That object is already entered into your mental consciousness. And that reacts with other objects and Pura Smriti, earlier memories, it reacts. Or it reacts with other data which is poured out at the same time. Contemporary thoughts. So all of them put together, there's a volcano erupts. And all kinds of anxiety, stress and strain and somebody died in the morning at 6 o'clock. Some example. Whom you know. The news has reached you only in the evening, 6 p.m. But he died at 6 o'clock. Because there is no thought about his death. The thought has not formed. The news had not reached. Your mind is fine. It is busy with other thoughts. But that thought that person died reached you through SMS or WhatsApp or a phone call, something reached you. The moment it reaches, observe the volcano of thoughts that erupt. It's like throwing a boulder into a lake from a height. A boom, thud, boom. Water splash and then everything disturbed. One thought only, one boulder, not many boulders. So when it comes, disturbs. Why? Oh, that man is known to me, I never expected he will die. Then what will happen to his wife and children? They are very small and then I don't know whether he get pension or not. It's a private job and I think a private. So many. So we think that it's only one news. But it creates so much of volcano of thoughts. Without allowing all these volcano of thoughts erupting in the mind, can we deal with it? That is yoga. Oh, I got my message, okay. So if I am supposed to go, I go, that's it. So Vishayebhya paravritya means the entire, slowly the mind is withdrawn, all the thoughts are withdrawn from the outer objects. How? prayatnataha, by effort, not by command. You command, mind comes, it will not. It will not come back like that. Then what happened? Vimarshe kevalam tishtet. So one should sit quietly in vimarsha, meaning deep deliberations. Afterwards it will come. Deliberating, thinking, analyzing about Atma Tattva. It's a beautiful thing. So therefore, Vishayebhyaha, Rupadibhyaha, Indriyarthebhyo, Bhogyebhyaha, Vrittischitta Vrittihi, Sarvaha, Sakalaha, Prayatnataha, Abhyasa Balena, on the strength of practice. Abhyasa Balena. It won't come on the throne. Abhyasa. Therefore, Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam tan Nirodha, Abhyasena to Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Gruhyate. We don't do any Abhyasa. We are not doing any Abhyasa. Practically speaking, we do nothing except prattling. Abhyasa. Prayatnataha Paravritya Nivarya Vikshiptam Chittavrittim Sarvartatayaha Vinivarya Ekagatayam Stapayitva. So, all the thoughts are gathered back and started thinking about Paramatma, one's own self, not other than. Here Paramatma means your own higher self. So, Achale, Nischale, Nirupadike, Vimarshe, Alochane, Anusandhana, Drushti Rupe, Kevalam, Anyanirapeksham Tishted, Varteta. This is the Anyanirapekshanam. Without any taking support of any other means. This is the Ramana Maharshi sadhana. Deliberations on the self without taking any other support. If you take any support, you are not in the self. Right? But this is one thing, everybody is not fit enough for this path. Because whatever we do, our mind is fixed only in the so-called thoughts that we generate and we call sadhana. So we take, but here niralambanam, it will come later on, niralambanam, nirupadhina. Nirupadhana will come, next verse will come afterwards. Therefore, one should strive by all means. Vimarshe alochane, anusandhana dushtirupe, anyanirapeksham tishtet. They don't depend on any other thing. Just you have to quietly sit quietly and then contemplate on the source of that consciousness. I am already there, but then think to invert that thought, to make the thought introvert. Tishtet, Bhagavan Ramana says, Tishtet, Prayat Vimarshe, Kevalam Tishtet, Achale Nirupadhike. See, Nirupadhike. Nirupadhike means there is no other support is taken. Because the problem is, this is not for us actually, the highest sadhakas. Because the whatever, suppose I wanted a guru, okay. Now slowly what happens? I get attached to the surroundings of Guru. I may become fanatic about the Guru's teachings and then Guru Vidhan and then Hamara Guru aise kaha hai. But ultimately what happens is, the essence what Guru wanted us, we lose it. And we give more value to non-essentials. And essential teaching is lost in the non-essentials. Therefore, it says very clearly, says, Vimarshe tad tishtet achale nirupadhike, nirupadhika Brahma. That Brahma is there, which is nirupadhika Brahma. vimarshe nirupadike, nischale nirupadike, vimarshe achalena. And then, tat samasatah sangrahena swasya swarupa vijnane sadhanam bhavati. That becomes, in essence, in brief, that is the sadhana. Focus is on self, on the spring of that consciousness. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna said, it is very difficult to contemplate on Nirguna Nirakara. Kleshaha adhikataraha. Very difficult for them to concentrate and meditate on that truth. Because as it has no size, no shape, no guna, no quality. It's a presence. That is you. Then, swasya swarupa vijnane sadhanam samasaha siddhyet teneva yatnena pratyak. So because of that only, pratyak drushti becomes possible. Pratyak drushti. So that becomes ultimately Sarupa Vijnane Sadhanam Bhavati Teneva Yatnena Mahiyase Pratyak Drushti Siddhyet Nirupadhi Vimarsharupa Niralamba Upasti Reva Pratyak Drushti Paryavasana Niralamba Upasti Reva. Niralamba means there's not too many of supports and too many of things. Drop everything ultimately. External supports we take. For example, in the beginning we need support, crutches are required in the beginning. But then ultimately you must grow, drop all the supports. This is what our Jiddu Krishnamurti used to tell this. But there is a danger also in that high understanding, because you try to grasp that which is not graspable for us, and we lose what we are supposed to do. Ultimately, that's why Rishis are very carefully they are dealing. Bhagavan Ramana also said, Pujanam japas chintanam kramati said upadesharam. Higher seekers ke liye sadhana diya, because the questioners are like that. So now, this is the sadhana he said. Now Devarata, another question he asked. Okay sir, understood. This is understood in brief. Okay. So only a practice depending on Nirupadhika means Niralambana asti. Niralambana means there is no, that practice we don't need anything, any support. What support do you need? Oh, Japmala required. That also is not required. In fact, slowly as we go, you don't, suppose you have no D3 and B12 in the legs, and your legs are very feeble and unable to stand also. Like Pichara, the poor people of polio people, very thin legs, and you want to stand on your own. What will happen? You fall down. I already warned you that it is not a fashion to choose Nirguna Upasana, Nirguna contemplation. It's another ego. I don't like all these things. That's another problem. So having progressed all the, therefore the Bhagavan Ramana did tapasya of many lives. Then ultimately he gave the direct path. So slowly and steadily we have to move to that dimension. Not otherwise. Not otherwise, not possible. We have to tight this next tomorrow. Screw ka. Screwdriver leke. So, therefore, Bhagavan Devarata asked another question. Okay, sir. Now, what about other sadhanas? Till I get that inward drishti, other sadhanas are valuable or not? Useful or not? Bhagavan says, yes, they are very valid, important. Till you get this. See, Bhagavan, see, question says, Devarata uvacha yavat siddhir bhavet nrunam yogasya munikunjara tavantam niyamah kalam kim yatnamupakurvate yavat siddhir bhavet nrunam yogasya munikunjara niyamah kalam kim yatnam upakurvate. So, okay, sir. Yavat siddhi bhavet nrunam yavat yogasya siddhi bhavet for human being among sadhakas. Yeah. Hey, Munikunjara means elephant. Munikunjara, elephant. Oh, elephant, oh, you are a elephant among sages. Meaning, oh, elephant among all animals, it becomes very conspicuously seen. The majestic. He is among the sages, he is like an elephant. Munikunjara, Bhagavan around Maharshi. Munikunjara. That is his greatness. So, O Munikunjara, Yavat Siddhi Bhavet. As long as Siddhi is not attained. What is Siddhi? Antardrishti. The Drishti becomes inward and gets established there. That's it. Yatha nivatasto deepen. But actually internal yoga, the drishti becomes inward and there it stops. It doesn't come out. More we will see in the future. Beautiful. More yogas. Yogas are also explained here. They become silent. That is called. So as long as this is not achieved, so long, does other sadhanas help in achieving this state? Yavat siddhi bhavedrunam yogasya munikunjara tavantam, so long, niyamaha kalam kim yatna upakarvate, niyamaha, that is timely practices, regular practices, some kind of regulations with respect to time, with respect to place. Are they helpful in making the mind, in making the thoughts stable and fix on the self? Yavat siddhe, so tavantam niyamaha kalam kim yatna upakurvate. Prayatnam, whatever efforts we are putting, are they helpful? Other regulations, other thought, because you are giving direct path. See, beautiful thing. So, a Munikunjara, Munishreshta, Yavata Kalina Nunam Naranam Yogasa Siddhir Bhavet, Tavantam Niyamaha, Abhyasa Desha Kaladayo Yatnam, Sadhana Vishaye, Kriyamanam, Parisharma Upakurvate, Kim iti Prishnaha, Niyataharatadayaha, Shuchau Deshe Samasinaha, Ityadayo Niyamaha, Shastreshu Prasiddhaha, Prayatnopakarakaha, Kimiti Prishtaha Bhagavan, Prishte Bhagavan Aha. Now, the Bhagavan Gita, that what do you call? Yuktahara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapnavabhodasya, yogo bhavati dukkha, satvikahara kana, yuktahara vihara. All those things Bhagavan Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Shujau deshe pratishtapya sthiramasana matmanaha, in 6th chapter. Shujau deshe pratishtapya. Make the place well, sit quietly, and Chailajana kushottaram. All that instructions. So many instructions, are they helpful? Same time try to do. In the morning, same time, same place you try to do. So many regulations are given. Are they helpful? Till I achieve the state of making the mind stabilized, all thoughts are become introverted and fixed on self. Thereafterwards, they are not disturbed. Now, here I would like to explain or mention it to you all. In Mahabharatam, Vedavyasa Maharshi gives 12 yogas. For what? To establish antardrishti firmly. 12 yogas he gave. Sadhanas, regulations. What are the regulations he gave? Are they helpful or not? Till I get established in that undisturbed dwelling upon the self. बैठ गए बस बैठ गए अपने आप में बस. Are other sadhanas helpful? That is the question. So what regulations in that context I would like to, in Mahabharatam, Vedavyasa Maharshi says. Okay, I will read out this so you will understand the yogas. Just as one who is swept by the currents of waters sometimes drowns and sometimes emerges out. Is it not? Similarly, a samsari experiences tragedies. Sometimes drowned in sorrow, sometimes celebrative mood. He needs a boat of knowledge to cross this ocean of samsara. A wise person whose buddhi is awakened not only crosses the ocean of samsara, but also saves many from drowning in the waters. That is the responsibility of everybody. This is what Pujya Gurudev asked us. You learn and start sharing this wisdom. Inspire others. If you are selfish, my dear, in this life you can be selfish. Next life भगवान छोड़ेगा नहीं. मौसम का जूस निकालता है ना, ऐसा निकाल देता है आपसे. You can't escape the responsibilities in cosmos. Take it as granted. You cannot escape. Ramana Maharshi sat in one place and he influenced through his thought, through his presence in fact, the whole world. And he drove lakhs of people to himself. And he answered all of them. So you think that Ramana Maharshi quietly sambar eating, morning idli, afternoon sambar rice and evening sambar sadam? I think Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi best life. Huh? What was he doing morning till evening? Actually, we are the lazy people. We think we are better than Ramana Maharshi. We don't do anything except nonsense talking. No commitment. So Vedavyasa says, you must help others. But an ignorant person, neither he knows how to save himself, nor is he fit to protect others. खुद के लिए टिकाना नहीं तो दूसरों के लिए क्या करेगा? So what are the 12 yogas he gave? 12 yogas he gave. 12. First one, Desha Yoga. What is Desha Yoga? Finding out an appropriate place for sadhana, preferably a place of solitude. This is called Desha Yoga. So mind should be always tuned into Desha Yoga. Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan Vedavyasa gave this. Second one is Karma, meaning Ahara Vihara Niyamas, Proper, the moderate activities is also required for Yoga Abhyasa. This is Karma related Yoga. Third one is Anuraga Yoga. Anuraga Yoga means desiring intently to attain Paramatma. Intent desire. Maintain that. Second one, Artha Yoga. Keeping the required amount of wealth or some things so that we don't get disturbed for basic needs. Upaya Yoga, fifth one. Discovering comfortable. Upaya means, So you discover what kind of asana is required, what kind of time is best suits for my mind. what kind of asana is required, seat is required for my contemplation. This got means, right? So intelligently using the available means, upaya yoga. Then apaya, shirking all attachments towards one's own family members, relatives, and discovering independence within, shirking the attachment, not the family members. Mind you, Swamiji ne kaha shirking family members. So, no responsibility. That is not the case. Attachment to family members. Serve them, but don't get attached to them. This is called apaya yoga. Then nishchaya yoga. Nishchaya yoga is yoga drawing right conclusions with full faith upon Shastras and Guru. What is that you arrived at a conviction based on Shastras and Guru? What are your convictions that I have drawn from the scriptures and the Guru which will benefit you, that you must understand? Guru may tell different things in different places and to different people. But what is that which is required for you? What are you convinced of? Which sadhana you are convinced of? Which type of thinking that you are convinced of? Nishchaya yoga. Then Chakshur yoga, 8th one, is practicing to fix the gaze on any of the centers. From many centers are there, Hridayasthanam is there, Kantasthanam is there, Chakras are there, many places are there. Or in the form of a god, or focusing the gaze on the or lamp. Some people do that abhyasa, 1 hour looking at the lamp and just trying to focus and dissolving all other thoughts. No other thoughts will emerge, looking at the lamp only. That's called Chakshur yoga. Then 9th one is Ahara yoga, taking right kind of precautions in relating to food, so that ultimately I should not get disturbed for my meditation, for my work, for my movement in the world. Ahara yoga. Samhara yoga, not allowing the mind and indriyas to turn towards OET and trying to gain control over chitta vrittis and destroying all the negative thoughts to the power of yoga. This is called Samhara yoga. Samhara yoga. Meaning, as and when the thoughts arise in the mind, then and there unwanted thoughts are dropped. That is called Samhara yoga. 10th one. 11th one is Mano yoga, making the mind free of thoughts and bringing that mind under the discipline of awakened or trained buddhi. This is called Mano yoga. And then Darshana yoga, practicing to look at this world as impermanent. It is constantly changing. It is no permanency there. It's constantly changing. This kind of witnessing, it's called witnessing the Jagat as constantly changing. All these are all called various vratas, various yogas, various practices which are given. Are they helpful till one gets gets his gaze fixed on the self? Till I reach that state, are they helpful? This is a question. So why I said all 11 things are no. So many sadhanas are given, so many yogas are given, but are they useful? Bhagavan vacha. Yes, why not? It says, Prayatnam upakurvanti Niyama yunjatam satam Siddhanam kritakrityanam Galanti niyamasvayam Prayatnam upakurvanti Niyama yunjatam satam Siddhanam kritakrityanam. Yes. See, Prayatnam upakurvanti. All kinds of efforts, sadhanas are helpful. For whom? Yunjatam satam. Those who are really, good people who are practicing yoga. Satam means good people, wise people, seekers. Those who are not yet established on the deep thing. But one thing, first of all, we must create, remove, annihilate quick reactions. This is not a good sign of spiritual seeker. Anger and divisions. Oh, this is my son is greater than the daughter. Daughter is secondary. Son is partiality. With these divisions in mind, lack of love, lack of compassion, analyzing people, separating, these are all not the qualities, either quick reactions, anger, judgments. These are the things that are very important. One, we should be conscious of these things while living day-to-day life. Because they are the ones who are actually forming. Thicker and thicker clouds are formed in your subconscious mind. They are getting precipitated inside. And they become stumbling blocks. And it takes lives to dissolve them. Lives. Not one life. Lives. Lives to dissolve them it will take. We don't know. We think it's all we are Brahman. Oh, nothing will happen. Brahman. These are all there inside. They are precipitating. Suppose, one time anger you got. So, one anger, like a particle, imagine, precipitated. Another time anger, precipitated. So, all these things are all precipitated in the subconscious. Like one cancer cell, it splits into two and they love each other. And the two become four. They love their extended family. 4 becomes 8. 8 becomes 16. 16 becomes 32. 32 becomes 64. 64, 128. 256. Chalo, 512. 1024. 2048. That's how they grow. And becomes a big cancer wound and they get located in the body and then return the whole system. So, in my consciousness, these things are precipitated. So, who are Satam? Those people who are good people but sincerely wanted to strive. Those who are really striving on the path. Satam, good people who are practicing yoga. All kinds of yogas, just now Vyasa Bhagavan said. All supports are taken. Practicing that, Satam. Definitely these efforts are useful. They are useful. They are required also. But Siddhanam Krutakrutyanam, those Siddhas, those who have reached that state wherein the mind is trained to withdraw, focusing on self and stationed there, gets stabilized, gets fixed, gaze is fixed. Then they don't need all the supports. Then they don't need, like asking Gurudev, do you do puja? Do you do Pata, Para and Pata? What are you talking? They meditate only for the sake of the world, not for themselves. They just close their eyes and think of the world and bless them. Their karma is not for themselves. Nothing. So, these things are not, so you cannot ask, bind Gurudev and that Mahatma with some rules and regulations and all. मैंने एक सुना है, हुआ होगा, हुआ तो है, मगर One devotee told me, great devotee of Gurudev, old, he was with Gurudev for a long time. तो कहीं गुरुदेव एक घर पे गया भिक्षा पे. So the food is very, very, not tasty, very no salt and or very, very less salt and no spice, nothing, all like a patient food. So in the hospitals they give, food. Andhra it asked, achar hai kya iske saath? No achar. Only कोई चटनी मिलेगा, कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. थोड़ा नमक ले, ना नमक बिल्कुल नहीं, तो बीपी वाला है. थोड़ा मिर्ची बिल्कुल मना है, थोड़ा एसिडिटी भी है. तो फिर भाई यही कहो, मैं बाहर जा सकता हूँ, नहीं बाहर जाना नहीं. तो कैसे कहें? So like that food was served for him. Gurudev, what is this nonsense tasteless food, he said. That host said, स्वामी जी आप तो महात्मा हैं, हमने सोचा आप सात्विक आहार ही खाते हैं, खास करके ब्रह्मचार्य ने बताया ऐसा खाना है. स्वामी महात्मा आहार सात्विक आहार बनाओ without all these things. You know what? That is for him, not for me, he said. तो उसके लिए सब नियम है, मेरे लिए क्या नियम है? उसको सात्विक आहार खाना पड़ेगा बेचारा. वो अपने लिए वंशज वही थे बेचारा, फिर वो बैठा वहाँ पे. दैट इज फॉर हिम, नॉट फॉर मी. ही वुड एंजॉय फूड. बट देयर वर डेज वेयर ही वाज लिविंग ओनली इन कप ऑफ टी एंड चना. रोस्टेड चना मिलता है ना, अरे येलो वाला ना ब्रेड के. That one do in mutti and one chai. He lived in tapasya, did house together, meditations. Once you attend siddhi, all the niyamas, but very important, siddhanam kritakrutyanam, those who have kritakrutya, the accomplished ones. Bhagavan says, niyamaha swayam galanti. You don't have to drop, they get dropped by themselves. When you drop preceded by a thought, that means it is your thought. I think I have reached, I don't need this discipline. You thought, no? That means it is you have dropped it. They are not dropped by themselves. Like for example, have you ever thought and dropped the toys? आज से मैं टॉय बंद करूंगी. As you grow, the mind that changed and then started looking at higher things and lower things are already dropped and you don't even want it. You throw the toy out. बचपन में I was happy with the toy bike. But as I grown, no, I don't want toy, I want real bike now. No, मुन्ना ले लो टॉय बाइक. बचपन से मांग रहे थे बेचारा. हट, अभी give me real bike now. That dropped no automatically. That happens. So there is no thought that I dropped also. It got dropped. That also there is no thought. Just galanti, everyone dissolves. Whatever, he is happy, he is fine. He is free from all encumbrances. All kinds of rituals, disciplines, and nothing is required. He is free. His consciousness is free. So, swayam galanti niyamaha. So, therefore, they help. Till you attain that, this help. Once they attain, they all get dropped by themselves. You don't have to drop. Like, the baby was holding on to the toys tightly. But as he discovers the joy of sleep, it slips. Did it drop? It got dropped. It got dropped. I didn't drop it. So as we grow, these sadhanas just fall down like that. This is what he said. Okay. Now, Devarata, another question I asked. Okay, this once fixing the gaze and getting established in that divine, one's own self, completely, totally fixed there, getting fixed there. That siddhi. That is possible only through vimarsha or through any other method also. That's the next question. We will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasit. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.